you were born to do something important. You had to have been, otherwise, you wouldn't have been born. Every soul who comes onto the earth is born to do something important. And that importance is going to be their contribution, the contribution that they make to the world. And it's always an energetic contribution, meaning, are you going to be happy? Are you going to love yourself? Are you going to create something of magnificent? Because you have the ability to do that. But see, what happens is we don't always know that, or we don't believe it, or we don't accept it. And see, I did all of those things. I didn't know it, I didn't believe it, and it took me a long time to accept it. I couldn't have told you that I was a mystic or a sage, or I couldn't have even told you that I was intuitive as I am, because that developed over time, and it developed out of my life, through what I live. But that's the same thing for you. See, because whatever we live, we're meant to develop something because it's within us, and then we give that back to others. And that's what's called your authentic self. Sometimes we don't understand that, or we don't accept it, or we've been programmed to believe that we don't have that. And all those things happen to me as well, which is why I know that my purpose on this earth at this time is to give back something to others. Because, see, we're going through a really huge evolutionary change in our world. That's why it's been so crazy and chaotic for the last several years. And people will say, well, how do you know that? I wrote about it. I received all the information. It was cosmic information. I've been doing it for a really long time. People ask, well, why does your program work to help people transform so quickly and so easily? It's because it transformed me. You can only give something to someone else that you know works, or that you have accomplished, or that you have done. That's how all of us make our contribution. That's how we leave our legacy, you see. It's not just about what we might give our kids or leave our kids, it's the world. We are all important in the world. That's the thing that takes a long time for us to understand. Because, see, the world is created energetically as well, just like we create our lives. And so, but the more people who put in something that it's light and love and all of that, meaning from themselves, then we have a very different world. But right now, that's not happening. And I've known of that. This is why I made changes in my life several years ago, because the information was coming to me. And I'm going to give you something else, because you're going to have a lot of anger coming up, possibly, or you're going to have a lot of people in your lives that you're not really liking right now, because things have changed, because you have a different path that you're meant to follow. You have an evolutionary path that is uniquely you, that and everyone else has the same thing. But see, but then when we don't own ours, we will make everyone else wrong, we'll hate everyone else, or we carry around a lot of anger. I did all those things too, so I do understand where you might have been. But I'm going to show you what happened. I was doing a group meeting where in my program, we do group meetings throughout the week, because this is how we move through absolutely everything, and we share. And we're having a really great time, by the way, doing this. But I'm going to read something to you. See, if you've ever seen a Wilhelm session, if you've ever come to a channeling session, you will see that I will sit and deliver information. And then what I started doing recently is, when people ask questions, I don't want to know who you are. I don't want to know what gender you are. I want to know nothing. This is why I have my associate Stan read the questions, because I just want to reach your energy. That's all. Because, and if you listen to them, you can see, and people come to me later and say, wow, you answered my question during the Wilhelm session. I don't remember that, because I'm in a different state of consciousness as I'm receiving information. And this is what I've been doing for more than 35 years. But that's something that's kind of challenging for us to understand, except we know that mindset is the only thing that makes a difference in our lives, because it's only about how we think of ourselves that cause us to experience our lives in a particular way. Mine was just a little different. I went through absolutely everything that most people have done in terms of traditional training and in schooling and all of that stuff. But then I started receiving cosmic information, cosmic guidance, which means that it works for everyone. It's universal. When you reach that kind of level of understanding, it's universal, so it works for everyone. And I'm going to read you a message I received in 2012, because that's when most of the work that I'm doing now came through. It was a particular time, and I could go through and show you the reasons for that because it's energy again. Our planets move, our universe changes, and at different times, certain people access information. I accessed information. A lot of people have done the same thing, just in different ways. The difference for me is I wrote it down every day. That's all. So that I could look at it and so that I could build something and then I can give it to others. How could I leave anything in the world if I hadn't written it down, if I hadn't put it together? But I have it all. And so I'm going to read you one message and I'm going to explain it because it took me a while to get it. That's how all of this information happened. I would receive it before it ever showed up and made sense in my life. Well, you do the same thing. And then we implement it and then our lives become better each time. And this one said, any judgment that you hold about yourself is merely a reflection of some particular judgment you hold about yourself. Wow. I'm going to read that again because this happens a lot. Any judgment that you hold about another is merely a reflection of some particular judgment you hold about yourself. The reason that other person shows up in your physical life experiences is so that you might have the opportunity to practice forgiveness. While initially you think you are granting, so to speak, that forgiveness to the other, in actuality, you are giving that forgiveness to yourself. When you remember that any form of judgment is merely a limitation that is blocking your current moment awareness, you are able to then seek greater awareness, which is your desired expansion. Throughout history, we will form judgments about certain things we don't understand, and specifically about people. But we have to understand we're all one. We're all the same people. And so when someone's showing up that we don't like them, we hate them for some reason, it's probably reflecting something back to us that we haven't dealt with. And I knew that was true. It took years for me to understand it and accept it and move through it, but it works. And then what happens is you start doing that throughout your life and you look at yourself completely differently. You start to understand your importance. Because again, we all have it. There would be no other reason for you to be born unless there was something in you that you were supposed to bring forth. And I'm saying you're supposed to do it now because this is part of our evolutionary change that's moving on. It doesn't matter how old you are, what you have done, what contribution you might have already made, because even if you've become really wealthy, you think that's your contribution, it's about the energy. It's far more about the energy. And this period in our world is moving into a place where the energy of love and light and acceptance is going to be much more prominent. And so, but we just got to go through all the darkness first, which is what you're seeing right now. But it's also why I'm doing all the work that I'm doing. But what I want to say is that I'm doing a channeling session. I'm sending this out before because I just want to invite more people to come to the channeling session because I want you to get the information. It's going to be on the full moon, which is August 1st, and we're going to have some energetic changes, let's say. So the more of us who come together and have this kind of wonderful experience, we will create something different in our world because that's how it works. And you can ask questions as well. I love doing that. Don't know how many I can get in because it's something that is so thrilling for me because when I'm answering a question, I have complete clarity. I have this information because I'm in a completely different state. But see, you can do that too with practice. And that's what I have been doing. And other people are starting to follow it as well. But you can do it. But I just want you to understand that this particular period in your life might be a little stressful. The world is a little stressful. But if you decide to honor your importance, everything will change.
I haven't done anything like this.
It's increased the confidence that I've had in myself.
Everything is better. I mean, every single aspect of my life. My income, the progress is just amazing. Like you can see changes from week to week.
Introducing your last development program, Life Transformation for Success, the newest part of Roger Burnley's coaching series. In this 3-month online program, you will learn the mindset tools you need to dissolve the shame of your past, discover the gifts within you that make you important to the world, and get the confidence to rise above anything that stands between you and the life that you want.
Everything changed in my life. Everything. Every single thing.
It's time for you to reprogram your mind for success and become self-actualized. If you're ready to transform your life too, learn more at yourlastdevelopmentprogram.com today.